So we are already gotten started a little bit. We are reviewing the Clarity dashboard. So now let me share my screen again. And by the way, if you've got a question, please shout it out. I am not so good at following the chat box. So if you see something in the chat box, please feel free to speak up and say, hey, Marion, why is it doing this? Oh my God, it's driving me crazy.
So Marion, in regards to the zip form email invite, what should we be looking for? Because I'm looking through my email and I don't see anything. I do see an invite from RAM, which has my MLS information and all that in there for that login. And it mentions zip form, but I don't see a separate invite for zip form. And I just tried to use my Paragon credentials for zip form and it tells me they're invalid.
No, of course, I just explained to you, you must get an invitation from us.
Right, and
So
that's what I'm saying. I don't see an invitation, so who should it be from?
I hear you. It comes from us. It's generated by us. And I dare say that because we have a staffing issue right now, things might be a little slow. When did you sign up for RAM?
November.
Oh, no, so you've never tried to log in?
Not to zip forms. No,
okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I tell you what.
I just naively assumed that all the tools in the dashboard would work with that login.
It's okay. I understand. Just stay on after we're done here and I'll invite you.
Okay.
Okay, so just don't hang up when we're done and say, hey, Marion, invite me.
Okay.
No problem. And anybody else, happy to do that for you as well. All right. So here we are in the back end called the Info Hub. And we are looking at Forum. And I was just explaining what Caravan is. So Caravan happens Tuesdays in Kihei and Wailea. So they rotate every 3 weeks. North Kihei, South Kihei, and then Wailea McKenna. North Kihei, South Kihei, Wailea McKenna, right? It just goes like that. It just keeps rotating. So, and that would be South Kihei right here is then upcoming Tuesday, January 17th. So if we wanted to see, was there anything on January 11th, was there anything on Caravan, then we'd click on that and we would see, okay, there were no, please support, show more. And you can now see the listing. This was the listing that was on Caravan. Okay, so you just keep looking in there and going, okay, where is this? And you write down or you print this out, and now you know where to go on Caravan. And Caravan, usually they're open, I would say from 9 to 11 at least. So you can always text the agent. The agent information's at the bottom here. You can always text the agent and say, are you, I want to come see on Caravan. Are you available, right? So how did I do that? I was in here under Forum, right? I went to the South Maui Caravan. Let's say today's Tuesday and I want to go this morning. So I want to see what's on Caravan. I click here and I take a look at what is here. So here's another one. This one filled it in nicely, right? 43 Kaimakani Loop, and provides an MLS link. And then this one here, this one didn't fill it out quite so nicely. So I have to click here to get more information or here for directions. So there were 2 things on Caravan. So it's always worth it if you're a South Maui person to check on Monday nights or Tuesday mornings. If you are a person who wants to put something on Caravan, you would go to a Caravan that's coming up. Clearly not, right? So let's say you want to put something on the West Maui Caravan here for next Wednesday. You can add a comment, or let me see, where can we add? Category Caravan West. By adding how to add your listing to Caravan. Right here are the instructions, right? So it actually is add a comment and enter the following information into the comment box, right? And here's what they want from you. And then you can put a link to the listing, and that's how you put things onto Caravan. So Caravan, when we don't have COVID, is starts with a meeting at, I believe it's at 9 o'clock, though you'd have to check for your region, and we meet somewhere, all of us. And it's usually some restaurant that, isn't open for breakfast. And we go there and we go around, everybody gets to introduce themselves, and the people who have the houses on Caravan or the units on Caravan stand up and talk about them, and you get to hear what there is to know. There's usually a printout provided of the list, including a map on where they are located. And then you can go with other people and go together to go look at these things. Right now, those meetings aren't happening, but Caravan is happening. So it's obviously not happening a lot because things are selling before Caravan, before they even get onto Caravan, right? So there is less need for Caravan right now because the market is so robust. But as we saw, there's already a Caravan listing for next Wednesday. So we could see here, was there something on Caravan for North Shore yesterday? No, there wasn't. So you just check and see if there's anything on, and if not, okay, no Caravan today, right? So Wednesdays is the West Side, and the West Side also rotates what they cover, right? So the West Side will go Lahaina area, all the way from Laniopoko to Lahaina, and then Lahaina and Anapali, and then up to Kapalua, Honokawai and Napili and Kapalua. So they rotate, right? So you will see, if you were to click open these two, what's going on and how it's rotating. Thursdays is Upcountry. Thursdays starts, the first Thursday of the month is Haiku, first Thursday of the month is Kula, second Thursday of the month is Haiku, and third Thursday of the month is Makawao Pukalani. So, and those rotate. And then fourth Thursday of the month is Central. So you get used to this, and you kind of have to focus on, my advice is you focus on that area that you want to sell, right? Know where you live, know what you like. I live up country, I sell up country. I make it my point to know up country. So this is Caravan, an important link.
So Marion, I noticed that East Maui or whatever, the Hana area isn't on here. Is that a separate?
So Hana is, Hana gets a Caravan maybe once a year. Okay. And it gets organized if people have enough listings out there to make it worthwhile. And otherwise, Hana pretty much lives off of the MLS. But in all the years that I've been doing real estate here, I think I've been to a Hana Caravan 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marion, I have a question.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of the Caravan exactly? I'm not really understanding what's the difference between this and just going and see, is it a preview? Is it exclusively from agents to show other agents before they hit the market, or it's
no, not before they hit the market. They have to be on market
as soon as they are on the market. Okay, so it's like the newest updates of the week, basically.
Well, so let me ask you this. If you were interested in getting to know the inventory, how would you go about that right now?
I would go to the MLS and start searching and seeing and bookmarking and tagging.
All right, so let me ask you this. If you were working with a client, here's really where it comes down to. If you're working with a client and the client says to you, so have you seen that property? And you go, well, no, I haven't, but I do know this area, you go, oh, okay, great. And then you show them another house, or they call you about another house and they say, have you seen this one? And you say, well, no, I haven't. By the third time you say, no, I haven't, how do you think your client feels about you?
Horrible.
Pretty
unsure,
sketchy, unsure, right?
Yes,
So
totally.
Caravan, now you can't just call another agent and say, hi, could I come and see your house? Right? No, I'm not opening my house. Why? Because we don't put things on lockbox here. It means I have to go to the listing and show you the listing, right? So there's two ways to get to know the inventory, two ways that you can build your knowledge of the market so that you can speak intelligently to people. And one is open house. And right now that is the predominant one, because we can see here on Caravan ain't happening because people aren't even bothering with Caravan, right? So when the market loosens up, you can expect Caravan to grow and become more important again. So when you can look at 5 houses in a 2-hour span, it's very valuable. It's really worth it, really worth your time. Or 5 condos, right? When you can actually once a week know that you're going to go look at 5 units, that's super important and efficient. Yeah.
That's
Cool.
great. Okay.
Great question. Great question. Thank you for asking that. That was awesome. All right. So next we've got the roster. And I'm not sure, customize results, show only customize results, clear. No. So I just want to see again how we download the roster, but let me see here. Let me go to affiliates. This is a very cool link. These are our affiliates. And our affiliates are companies that have joined the Realtors Association of Maui, and they work with us already. So if you need to find somebody, this works really well. Now I'm going to actually pull it in a different way, because this is by alphabetically by name. And that doesn't help me so much. It helps me much more when it's organized. So I'm going to resources, and resources has quite a bit of interesting information in it. So advertising guidelines, board of directors meetings, if you're interested in that. If you're missing open house signs, that helps. It happens a lot, especially in South Kihei. And here we have the affiliate member roster. So we're going to go there and we're going to download it. And I get it as an Excel file, which now you won't be able to see, but it's going to be organized by function. Sorry. So that I can see all the lenders, I can see all the escrow companies, I can see all the home inspectors. So if you want to know what home inspector to hire, this gives you a list of home inspectors. This gives you a list of lenders. This gives you a list of escrow companies and their phone numbers and their emails, right? So this is a really good resource. I need to stop sharing and share again and choose this for you to see this. See that? So here they all are: cleaning services, financial services.
Essentially, it's a vendor list, essentially, is what it sounds like.
Yes, it's a vendor list, but vendors for us, right?
Right,
Not vendors for your client necessarily, although the lenders are clearly for your client. But you're the one who's looking for a home inspector. You're the one who's looking for appraisers. You're the one who's looking for, right? So this is a very handy list for us. Now, these aren't all of them, because these are just the ones who are affiliated with the Realtors Association of Maui. They pay dues to be a member, and they are already doing business with us, and that's why they are, or they're interested in doing business with us. So it's a great first resource, first place to go. When you are interested in, hiring a home inspector and or an appraiser or whatnot, one of the other things, of course, you can do is to ask on the Keller Williams Facebook page, hey, what lender do you recommend, or whatever. Ask your broker, ask your coach, ask experienced agents who they like to work with, and be sure to ask questions like, why? What do you like about this guy? What do you like about this person? So that you have a better sense of who to recommend. But your broker and your coach will definitely help you with recommendations also. Okay. And somewhere in here is also the place where we sign up for Market statistics, very useful, right? If you're looking for the whole report on market statistics, our market statistics are awesome. So you can get those here. Yeah, so this is InfoHub. And this is the place why you go here most often is this is your billing information. So when your dues are due, it'll tell you that you've got something due, right? It'll also give you a billing history so that you can see all the stuff you've paid over time. Look at this. I have a whole history. I can see what classes I've paid for, whatever else I've done, right? So very handy site for us. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. And I'm going to go back here. So that was InfoHub, okay? Just so you know that. Realist is, Realist and RPR are very similar. Realist is, and by the way, I'm giving a little, oh, you're not going to be there, but I'm going to record it. I'm doing a little jump start on Monday morning about RPR. But you stick to your Ignite class. So Realist is a backend site. So I'm going to show you how to get there from a listing, which makes it really easy, but it's also a great place to just go in. Like you can just go in and put in your address, like where you live. And see what comes up. And there we go. It brings me information about my home and what the last sales price was. And there's an interesting bit of information. I bought this property. This is a 2-acre property with 3 houses and a garage. And I bought it for $640,000 in 2002. And I just refinanced and the appraised value was $1,950,000. So speaks to the appreciation of real estate, right? Pretty amazing. So here's just your back end information, right? Including a link to the actual tax record. Here's my assessment information. Here's the square footage of the various buildings. Here's building permit information, etc. You can get reports out of this, comparables. I don't do my comps in here, but the neighborhood report is kind of interesting. And this is a way you would look up a house if somebody called you and you didn't find it in the MLS. If it's never been on MLS before and you need to find the characteristics of this property, this is where you would go to get that. RPR is a similar service. It's back-end information, right? The recent sale, what's the tax bill on this property? What are its characteristics? You know, whatever else there might be. What's the mortgage information? All of that back-end information is here. This is a service provided free to us through the National Association of Realtors. This is kind of the closest thing we have to a national MLS because you can look up any property all over the country as long as the local MLSs are feeding into it. You can look up and help somebody in Des Moines and say, well, let me find for you what something sold for there. You can do a CMA for them in Des Moines on RPR. So kind of interesting. This has some awesome reports. You can also do a CMA in here. I rather kind of like the CMA function in RPR, but that's for later. That's down the road a little bit, getting ahead of ourselves. So I'm also going to show you how to work those in Paragon. We'll get back to those. InfoSparks is a very cool place. It's a statistical analytical program that uses the MLS data. This widget right here is, as you can see, it's live. And right now it's showing us sales, and the purple is condos and the green is single family with detached ohana. These are all types of single families, right? And you can set it for price. And what is the price doing? You can look at supply. Woo, yes, we know that's happening. And you can look at days on market, right, which are also declining. So this little widget comes out of InfoSparks, and it's something you can embed into your website. Kind of cool. So let me just go to InfoSparks and show you how this works. And it does this all the time. Send anyway. Yes, it's an unsecure link. All right. so this looks like it's complicated. It's not. Across the top, these are price ranges. So if I wanted to only look at $1 million and what I'm looking at is sales price, this is the $1 million sales price for the past 3 years. Running kind of steady. That's good to know. These are all prices. All prices are still going up, right? These are property types, single family or condos. Right now, we're on all property types. Here's for residential condos. Here is for land tenure, if you wanted to look at just leasehold properties. Here is square by square footage. Here's by number of bedrooms, and we've even got number of baths. So we could set this chart right here by clicking on, just give me single family. I just want to know these, single family with attached ohana, never mind the condos. So now I'm just looking at single family. Look at that price increase. Eek. And now if I do, like, what if I do just to $1 million, right? Or what if I do not that one, but 500 to 999? Look at that price increase. Isn't that fascinating? So this helps you learn the market in a bigger picture. This is really cool, right? So I'm just going to stick with all price ranges and all properties to show you some other elements of this. First of all, we are looking at 3 years of data here, right? You can see across the bottom from here, it's 2018 to 2021 over here, and here we are in 22. You can set this for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or maximum. And the maximum goes back to 2004. And what's useful about this is, you guys have all heard about this run up and then the debacle of the Great Recession, and that was here. And look where we are today in terms of prices, right? No comparison. The other thing that this shows you is Maui actually used to go like this. Maui used to have ups and downs in a 10, 12-year period. We would do a full cycle. We go up and we go down, and we go up again and we go down. And it would never go down as far as it was before, and it would always go up a little further. So over time, we had this pretty steady growth of our market. And the only down we had this year was somewhere in here. You can see it kind of went flat, right? For a little while, like in 2018, 2019. And then COVID hit, ka-chunk. So that's sales price. Here's new listings. Yeah. Here is total homes for sale. Wow. Now this is interesting. This shows you that we do have new listings, right? It's not like that's down in the basement. It's total homes for sale indicates that we're selling a lot. We're selling them the moment they come on market, right? Pending sales is a very cool, oh my gosh, pending sales is a very cool thing to track. And this is, of course, COVID hit right here, right? Yeah. And then there was this time where we thought, okay, real estate has died. We just thought it was going to die. Who would ever think that in a pandemic, this would happen? So people who sold right here because they were scared, or let me put it this way, the people who bought right here because they just were ready. Oh my God, are they ever glad they did, right? And here's closed sales. Look at that, right? Same thing, pending, closed, obviously reflect each other a lot. So you can use this to learn about the market and to understand what's going on and what's happened here, and then you can play with it. You can even add areas. So if this is closed sales for the entire market, I could compare this to just Kihei. Oh, look at that. Somewhere the rest of the market is doing a more robust, right, increase, but Kihei follows along, right? Now you can, if I did this just for condos, it might look different because Kihei condos clearly partly drive the market. I can add another area to compare again, and I can even add, look at this, I can even add a complex name. So now I might want to shorten it to a year's data, and I might want to compare a couple of complexes. How does Kauhale Makai compare to Maui Vista, right? What are the sales there? What's the volume? What's the price increases, etc. So I can pull a complex name, and then I have another window here. I can add another complex name. So pretty cool to play with. Now I can just get out of these, and pretty cool to play with this. Here's one more thing I want to show you. There's something here called fast stats. Does everybody see where I am? And when you go to fast stats, this map comes up and you're going to say, oh, I want to know about Kihei. And my client is interested in North Kihei. So I click on North Kihei and I get this one-page report that tells me what's happening in single family and what's happening in condominiums. And it compares this year to last year. So clearly we only have December statistics, right? So it's comparing December 2021 to December 2020. And then it tells us the percentage change. And then it does year to date. And of course, what's valuable about this report this month is we get December, and that shows us a full year. So we're seeing that for the full year, single family homes, 224 single family homes sold in North Kihei versus 198 in 2020. That's an increase of 13%, right? However, the average price or the median price went from $840 to $1 million. And the average price went from 1.07 to 1.6 million. Can anybody tell me what the difference is between a median and an average price? Okay.
Median is in the middle and oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, median is the middle of the sales prices, and then the average is all the sales prices divided by the total of those.
Yeah.
Right. So you add them all together and there were 224 and you divide that number by 224 and you get this average. So what does this tell us? The fact that the median is $1 million and the average is $1.6 million.
That more houses that was sold above 1 million.
So what that is, well, we're seeing here that the median, that the total number of prices were at 224 and half of them were below $1 million, right? And half of them were above $1 million. So we can see that the ones above $1 million were so significantly above $1 million that it skews the average sales price towards the higher market, right? So probably if we looked at all the houses that sold out of those 224 in the, or the 112, whatever, 113 above $1 million, we'd probably find a bunch that are 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, 12 million, 25 million, right? And that's going to skew that number. That's why real estate works on a median. We work on a median. We like to quote the median price. The newspaper will quote the median price because it more accurately reflects, that's the midpoint. Half of the whole houses are selling for less than that, and half of the houses are selling for more than that, right? So it's this very interesting juxtaposition between these two numbers. On the condos, you can see here it's not such a big difference, but $100,000. The median price of condos was $566 and the average was $652. Almost $100,000 difference, right? So again, more higher end condos are selling. Anyway, a cool little one-page statistical report that you can just get by hitting the fast stats here in InfoSparks.
And just out of curiosity on that map, why is Maui Meadows separate from North Kihei or from Kihei or the Kihei-Wailea area? Is it?
Because Maui Meadows is its own thing. Maui Meadows is half-acre zoning. There's nothing else in South Kihei that is half-acre zoning.
Okay.
Maui Meadows goes up the hill, so can have incredible views. Maui Meadows has, you know, some properties on the high end. I mean, easily $3, $4, $5 million properties. Nothing down here does that. So Maui Meadows often used to be paired with Wailea and McKenna, and it probably still is for caravan purposes, because it's more like a Wailea property, right? And yet, because it's not a gated community, it's an eclectic community, isn't it? When Maui Meadows started in the 1970s, there was nothing happening down here. Everything in Kihei was happening up here. And people thought this was the hinterland. People thought, nobody's ever going to move to Maui Meadows. Are you kidding? And people bought these lots for $25,000, $30,000 back in the 70s. And so a whole bunch of hippies moved in. So we have hippie houses, right? We have these old houses there, these Lindell cedar homes, which were really popular in the 70s and 80s and 90s, right? All over Maui Meadows, right next to these magnificent new things. So it's an eclectic community, but it's a pretty solid neighborhood, and it's just, from a pricing standpoint, its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious, half the houses, when we moved here, half the houses my wife sent me were in Maui Meadows to take a look at. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood, and you know, and there are people who only want Maui Meadows. Absolutely. Whereas you don't get that with, you know, one of these subdivisions down here. I only want to live there. No, that doesn't happen so much. It does happen with Maui Meadows.
Okay.
It's so mature. Landscaping is so mature, right? It's just, it's its own thing. Yep, that's why. Good question. Okay, so much for InfoSparks, everybody. Oh, look at that. I've been on Paragon so long, I have to log off and I have to log back in. So I'll explain that. So I now clicked on the Paragon button, except I shouldn't have, because I'm not quite ready yet. I was here. DocuSign, you don't need to sign up for DocuSign, although we get a DocuSign account with KW. There is a free e-signature program in Zip Forms. I use it. I don't use DocuSign. Other people use DocuSign. Over time, you'll figure it out. You're going to learn how to use the e-signature program here over the next few weeks as we teach you Zip Forms. So the rest is up to you. Here's a link to NAR. Here's a link to HAR. NAR, by the way, has lots of interesting tools, and one day you should go in there and research that. RAMaui.com is our public-facing website, and a lot of people use it to search for real estate. People tend to prefer going to the associations directly as opposed to using realtor sites, because they're afraid realtors are tracking them and going to pounce on them. So, you know, so they're not ready to be found by realtors yet. So they go to these sites. So we get a lot of people searching in there. Here's our class and event calendar. Be sure to check that out. Once you're done with Ignite, this is where you're going to want to go for the next level of your education. As I mentioned, I teach all the strategies classes at RAM. So that's a purchase contract class, that's listing classes, how to get a listing, the listing contract, how to do a CMA. I do finance classes, really valuable classes. The first one is everything you need to do and work with your buyer. And the second one is understanding loan programs. So valuable classes. Here's our caravan button. And actually it doesn't work. It takes us to that sign-in page on the info hub, and then you have to go to the forum. Yeah. And as I mentioned, these two are really handy links to be able to check your license and check your CE status. Here's a direct link to our Maui County tax record. Here is a direct link to how to look up a flood zone. Flood zones are really easy. You just click on it and you say yes, and then you put in the address and a flood map comes up and you can print it. Kiva is where we go to look up permits, right? So you're listing a house or helping a buyer buy a house, and the agent tells you there's some unpermitted items. Well, you need to look that up, and you need to check on the permits and double check, right? So we do that here. And if you can't find the permits here, there's other places to look for the handwritten permits that I can always show you how to do that. And here is, we have a full-time government affairs director at the Realtors Association of Maui. Yeah, Maui has a full-time government affairs director. What does he do? He keeps track of what's happening at the county council. The county council right now, the county council just changed our short-term vacation rental laws. You can no longer buy a home and get a short-term vacation rental license. Did you know that? There's a 5-year moratorium on getting short-term vacation rental licenses. So, people come here and they think they want to open a B&B. Can't do it. No longer possible. Got to wait 5 years. So he tells us about that. So you click here and you find out his latest podcast and listen to it, hear what's going on. I am also on the board of directors of the Realtors Association, and we have a government affairs committee that meets monthly. So I do make it my business to keep up. Okay, has anybody got a question in chat that I should know about? You want to tell me so I don't spend time reading that? All right, this is the member roster. This is also going to take us to Info Hub again. And so I'm going to log in here because I just want you to know where this is. I believe it's in resources. And you download the member roster and it has a date. So why would you want to do this? You want to do this that as part of Keller Williams, you're going to have access to MailChimp and your clients. I'll take good care of them. And so we send each other emails. If, for those of you that are brand new, you haven't gotten any of those yet, Bill, probably you have. Your email will start filling up with these lovely emails about new listings, about things on open house, promotional emails that we send each other to promote our listings and our homes. And so you always want to be able to download a new roster to send those emails to. And this is how you do that. Okay. I am in resources, not in member roster, because that's the live database. You want to go to where you can download it, and that's in resources. Now, let me just say here, you're not going to remember all of this. The point is that you want to learn enough here to know that I know it's possible. So you can call your coach and say, I know that I know how to do this, that it's in RAM somewhere. Where do I get that member roster? Or you can call Larry and say, Larry, how do I get the member roster? Because he's there to help us with all things related to Paragon and to the Clarity dashboard. So just know that these buttons are here and that this information is, that's, you'll learn it over time. So don't stress if you're like going, I can't remember all of this.
Thanks for doing that, because sometimes it is a little overwhelming, but it's nice that everything is just there for you and you can go look for things when you need them. So it's really nice that it's all organized for you.
Yeah, and so, I know a lot of agents who log into Zip Forms separately and go to Paragon separately. And I don't do that. I go to this because everything is here. So if you get in that habit, just open this. This stays open for 6 hours. Is there a counter here? I can't quite tell, but I don't think so. No. But this stays open for 6 hours. The reason my Paragon shut down on me is because it only stays open for 2 hours. So worst comes to worst, you have to close that part down and re-click on it here. But I don't have to log in again, right? This is so handy. All right, so now I'm going to go. Yeah.
Hi, I have a question. So for the member roster, if I understood it well, so every now and then you would go there, you would download like an updated version of the database, and then you would add it to your database on command so that you
No.
can send. No, okay.
No, I don't think you'd put it on command. I think you'd put it directly into MailChimp. So let me
Oh,
show
okay.
you.
In your email marketing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you do add them into your, okay. So the command contacts, you keep them only for leads?
Yes, the command contacts are
Okay.
really your leads, right? So oh,
Right,
I'm in
right,
the wrong, I'm in the wrong thing. So sorry. Here, look at this. Here's an email I just got from Jeannie Kong, just listed. I think she meant to say easy to show. She's a really good realtor, by the way. But anyway, here it is. And this is what these emails look like, right? So lots of pictures. They're beautiful. You really get to know the property well. And you're gonna get bunches of these kinds of emails.
Hundreds.
Hundreds, right? Exactly.
I'm still
So-
trying to work on my filters for these things.
Wait, so-
filter.
Sorry. Hey, Marion,
ahead.
just to clarify kind of from what Bruno was saying, so that will just show a list of all the realtors that are active right now, and then you'd have to email. Is there a way to like just say email all or something like that, or?
So notice I'm not sending, this is not a normal email. We don't send normal emails to each other. Very rarely. Sometimes we'll get an email from an agent that says, I've got a family desperately looking for a rental, need 3-bedroom, 2-bath, willing to pay $4,000, right? And we help each other when somebody's desperate like that and say, yeah, I know of one over here, and we email each other. But mostly we email each other in this promotional way. And
How
these-
did she get to email this? Like, where did she go to email
that's
that?
what so I don't know what, well, let me see if I can see. She used Constant Contact, which I use also. So
Okay.
these are services that you have to subscribe to. Constant Contact costs about $55 a month. And you can make these pretty emails, and you can make yourself a template. And then if you have a different listing, you just pop in different pictures and change the words. But this always looks this way from this company. This company actually provides this template to her, right?
Okay.
Keller Williams provides you access to MailChimp. MailChimp is just like Constant Contact. It is a service that makes pretty emails.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're going to get that list. You're going to load it into MailChimp, and you're going to do a broadcast email that says, here's my new listing, right?
Cool. Okay,
Easy
thanks
to
for
show. Yeah. So I just want to show you that I've got my email set up by primary, promotions, and updates. And the way I do that in Gmail, I'm a Gmail user, I'm a Google user. I no longer save anything on my computer. I totally live here. You can go up to the cog in settings right here, and you can go to see all settings, and it lets you change your categories. Filters. No, this is not a filter, I don't think. Labels. Could be labels. I don't know. Could be my inbox. Yeah, there we go. I go to inbox and I can choose. I can even have social media ones, right? Social. So primary is checked. You've always got primary, but this is a way that you can have Gmail do the sorting for you. And you can teach it. You can, if you don't like what shows up in promotions and you want that email to really be in your primary, you can just drag it. See that? I'm just dragging it. So you can teach it to put that one in my primary from now on. Or if something comes up in your primary and you don't like it, you drag it to promotions. So that's how you do that. That's very handy. But I also want you to see, look at this. So here are my escrows. Now, this is a relatively new account and I don't do so many buyer sides. This is my escrow files. And when I go to a file, look at how many emails I've got for a transaction, right? They're all here. Then I've got a category called, where am I? listings. So here's listings. Same thing. I can go here and here's all my correspondence on that listing. And then I've got something called new clients. So my new clients, I want to open it this way. Look at all these new clients, right? It doesn't matter, but if I want to find my correspondence with Patty, I can just go there. And even though I haven't talked to her in a couple of years, the email correspondence we've had is here and I can easily find it. Now, I know that we've got a search engine up here, but the reality is that our search engines don't always, our subject lines and content don't always let us find the thing that we're looking for, right? So it makes good sense to organize yourself. But now I've gotten off track. That's our email conversation. All right. Here we are in Paragon. How I make my Paragon look is up to me, and you can set that too. And I'm going to show you that. That's we'll go there in a minute. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour here. Up here is a power search. So you can put an address in here. So I can put in my address in here. And sometimes it wants road. I don't know why my house doesn't come up anymore. It's so bizarre. It used to come up all the time. So I'll try something else. Yeah, I can't. Anybody have an address to add? But you can literally type in your own address. Or like I was saying before, if you have a seller who calls you and says, I'd like to sell my property, would you come and, talk to me with a listing presentation? The first thing you're going to do is go in here and put that address in here and see if it comes up. Now, I also have the address function available to me in the quick search. This is the quick search category right here on the left-hand side. And I'm going to see if I can come up with my home right here. Wow, I have no idea what's happened, and it's just bizarre. It's,
You can use my address if you want.
Oh, cool. Let's do that.
736.
Hold on, I'm going to go up here. 736
South Alu Road, Wailuku.
All right, well, it's come up here. So 736 South Alu Road, Wailuku. Here we have a sold. Is that your house?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It's not that color anymore, but we painted it when we moved in.
Okay, so you bought this last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at what I can do here. So because this is how I look at things, you can look at things in different formats, and we're going to go into that. But I'm going to be able to say, if this were on the market and I were talking to a client, I can say, okay, so this property is listed at $1,100,000. It is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath of 2,316 square feet. It's on a 8,100 square feet of land. It has mountain and ocean views. It was originally built in 1990 and was renovated in 2011. And it's in a neighborhood called Wailuku Heights, Phase 2. And in this particular instance, it went into contract in June. So it was on market for 5 months before it went into escrow, and then sold 2 months later. So how do I do that? It's because I'm used to this format, and I have learned to do that so that when I'm with clients and we're looking at the MLS together, and it could be on a Zoom call like this, I can talk about this as if I know it, right? And then we can click on the house. We're going to take a tour of the house that you bought. And we can see how it was presented. Beautiful floors, nice shoji screen, nice pass through to the dining area. So clearly this house this is not a virtual staging, right? You can see this is a this is the way it looked before the people moved out, and then they obviously moved out, right? So it was available to be done both ways. Nice kitchen, beautiful, maybe not brand new, but definitely pretty darn brand new. And this is one of those instances where this doesn't have a stove. It's got what we call a cooktop and an oven. So they're separate items, right? Very nice. Pantry. Oh my God, you're so lucky. You have a pantry. Oh, love pantries. So bathroom, not so new, but nice enough. Absolutely. You see, so you learn a lot by looking at a house on the MLS, and you can see this is, I would say, definitely not new. This kind of countertop, I haven't seen that in a long while.
Yeah, it's for Micah. We're actually going to gut the house and do a major renovation next year. So
Okay, well, there you go. So
Yeah.
don't forget that beautiful flooring, though.
We were judging you, to be sure, Bill.
I think this is a gorgeous house. Look at this downstairs. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. You scored. Nice, nice job. So thank you for sharing that with us. And you worked with Greg Smith. Nice guy. Awesome. All right. So there we go. That's how we can look up. Now, if Bill were interested in selling and called one of us, the first thing we do is look up, what did he buy, right? Now we know a lot about this property. We can even go here to the tax record. This button, this red button right here with the little squiggly inside of it, is the link from a listing to the realist tax record. So here we have the realist tax record, and it tells us who the owner is, and it tells us the location. Here is a link to the actual tax record, so to the Maui County Tax Department tax record. Here's
Sorry,
the
where was
snippet.
that button? I just
This
missed
is
where
a
the
live
button.
button. That's correct. So if I click
No, no,
there,
no, I'm not asking that. I'm asking where the button was that you clicked the little squiggly. I actually just literally missed it.
The little red.
yeah, it's easy to miss. This little red button right here.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
By the way, Bill, nice house.
the very nice house. Are you kidding? Gorgeous house. I
it's
love
okay.
it. No, it's not okay. It's beautiful. And here it is. Here's your assessed value. And here are the characteristics of the house. Now look at this. The tax record says it's 1 story. The MLS says it's 2-story, which leads us to believe that somewhere in there, someone enclosed the downstairs and may not have permitted for it, right? So you'd want to check that out, because why is there a difference between what the tax record says and what the MLS says?
I'm curious, did the agent tell you that, Neil? When you
Nope.
bought it? Okay, well, that's interesting. So little things we need to check, right?
Yeah,
Or
we didn't hear anything about that from the agent, the title company, the
Well, the title
inspector.
Yeah, so if anything, here's where the responsibility is. The responsibility is with your agent. And it could be that everything was permitted and it's just that the tax assessor hasn't gotten around to it, or because the tax assessor calls the downstairs a basement, it isn't 2-story.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that it's just listed in MLS that way. So there's numerous things here. I'm just showing you that the realist will actually point that out to us, that there's a difference from one to the other, right? That's kind of cool. And then we have building permits, which you can't click on here, but you can get the number and go to Kiva and look it up. And then we have, I don't know what the sell score is. That one just says something new. I don't know what that is. Here is listing history, and here is market sale history. And then here is mortgage history. So this is very cool. I'm not going to read this out. We don't need to expose Bill's mortgage history, but you can totally see how much of a mortgage people took out or have refinanced. So if I were to look at my tax record, you might not see it yet because it just closed 2 weeks ago, but pretty soon you're going to see a refi on my property, right? And it'll say refi, like there'll be a new mortgage, a new closing, and it will show it as this is not a sale. This is just a new mortgage. So it's very handy to see that. I was researching for a potential client yesterday, and I saw that she refinanced about 5 years ago. So on now I know she's still got a chunk of that mortgage left to pay off, right? So I can kind of estimate what's going on. Anyway, very cool. Thank you for sharing your address. Now, notice here, I was about to go to the back button and I stopped myself because I have trained myself in Paragon. We cannot do that. If I had looked up numerous listings, I would have a back button lit up here, but I only looked up this one listing. So I'm going to unclick out of this particular listing by just going out of it here. All right. So let's see.
Thank you
What
for
else?
pointing that out. I didn't even realize it opened up a new tab. That has been a frustration for me
Yes,
as I
you
was
cannot-
exploring through here.
Yeah, you cannot use the back button in Paragon. Paragon is in Kansas, I don't know where it is. And they service over 500,000 agents. 500,000. So can you imagine the size of their room with all the servers in it and whatnot? And you can't tell your browser, when you use this browser button up here and go back, it's your computer talking. You're telling your computer what to do. You can't do that and get through to Kansas. So in order to get through to Kansas, you have to use their back button. You'll get used to it. You'll make the mistake a few times and then you go, oh, shoot, I keep doing that, right? You get used to it. All right. So I just want to keep going across the top here and show you there's a help button. And there's a very handy help button. The help button takes you to various categories where you can find recordings, information about upcoming webinars, all sorts of things. So if you want to learn more about the home screen, you want to be reminded how to do a search, you want to take a look at how to work with results, which really means the different reports that you can get. The Collaboration Center is something I'm going to show you and talk to you about a little bit. Contacts, we're going to talk about contacts, listings, CMA, your preferences, how to set your preferences, see what webinars they've got coming up, and just troubleshooting here. You don't need to know about the RETS feed, and I don't know what the Academy is. We don't need that. Anyway, so the thing that agents most want to know is how to email their clients some listings. To remember how to do that, I'm just going to tell you this. The information is in your contact because every person you email something to has to be set up individually because everybody wants different things, right? So you're going to create a contact for your client, Sam Seller, and then in the Sam Seller record, you're going to set up a search. And so if you want to be reminded how to do that, that is covered under contacts. All right. What else we got here? Compose email. We don't do that. If I want to compose an email, I'm going to go here. I don't need to do that in Paragon, but MLS documents is important. And this is where we find a whole bunch of information. So here too is another source for the affiliate roster. So this is actually the easier place to get it, right? As opposed to going all the way into InfoHub and whatnot. You can just get the affiliate roster right here. Here are COVID-19 notice forms. Here's data input forms. What do you think that means, data input forms?
That's the form that you enter if you have a listing of how many bedrooms, how many baths and stuff like that.
Exactly. Now they're only here for convenience. They're also available to us on zip forms, but Paragon and these MLS documents has all of our forms because when we first started with all this technology back in the 2000s and whatnot, zip forms used to crash all the time. Oh my God, you'd be in the middle of a contract and the whole thing would crash on you. It was so frustrating. So, and sometimes it wasn't available for a day or so. So Paragon, the Realtors Association of Maui staff just learned to have all of our forms available to us. So here they all are. Here are the brokerage forms, the commercial forms, the property management forms, and the residential forms. So if you need a purchase contract, there are all the forms or whatever you might need is right here. So that's why we have the data input forms here too.
Marion, how did you get there again?
Oh,
MLS folder.
right up here. See this icon up here? at the
Oh,
very top on the right.
oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a big icon. It really should be bigger, but once you know where it is, it's really handy to know where it is. The DCCA change form. Now, this is a good thing to know where to find it. You'll need this if you change your name, if you change your address, if you change your phone number, your email address, right? The DCCA needs to be notified. It's also the form that you would need if you change brokerages. And of course, we don't want you changing brokerages, but just so you know where to find that form. This is a special forms release, never mind that. Here are fair housing forms, including, I believe this is it's just a fair housing form. Oh no, I thought I'd get the pamphlet here, but no, it's not here. So this is a form for if you want to file a fair housing complaint. Let's not go there. Let's hope we don't do that. Now I want to show you something, Bill, and everybody. Notice that I clicked on one of the items and a new tab opens. Now I can close this tab, or I can just go back to the main folder and keep searching and go to flood zone designations. And now a new tab opens, right? So this subsection also works on a tab basis. And so do the search functions and some of the other areas. So you can have multiple tab areas open. So for instance, if I wanted to go do a residential search because somebody calls me up right now, look what happened. I got a new tab, main tab, and within that, I am now doing a search, right? And let's say I want to do a search in haiku, and then somebody else bothers me and says, could you just look up a condo for me in Kihei? And I want to do another search. And I go to condominium and I can open another one. And then when all these people have stopped bothering me and asking questions, I can go back. And by the way, if I want to look for a house in haiku, but I also want to look for a house in Kihei, and I don't want to do it in the same search, look what I can do. I can create a new search under residential in this main tab. See that? And then I can get out of it, and then I can close it all the way down. So I just want you to be aware of this tab functioning, right? We can have lots of things open. Okay, flood zone designations. This is a good form to know about. Lots of times we need to confirm what the flood zone is somewhere. And this is the form that we use. And we can email this form to the county. You fill it all in. You're the applicant. You can name the project. You give your email here, give the property address, and then they will answer it and send this back to you filled in within, I would say, less than a week. So very good to know about. And they'll also give you zoning information, although zoning information is pretty much available on the tax record at this point. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to get out of here and back to my main list. Oh, flood zone designations. I wanted to show you this. There are flood zone definitions. When you get a flood zone report, it says all these categories, and it doesn't really tell you what they mean. So I use this, I print this out for people or send this to them with the flood zone report so that they have a better idea of what the flood zone designations actually mean. That's what that's about. What else have we got here? Lead-based paint disclosure form and pamphlet. When do we need a lead-based paint disclosure?
The house was built before 78 or 73.
78.
And anybody help her? What year?
78.
78, yeah.
1978. You got to remember that, you guys. That's the one to remember. There's other dates like, you know, when were cesspools disallowed? That's around 1982. You know, but the lead-based paint one is the one you have to remember. So 1978 on lead-based paint. Keep that in mind. Here is here's an MLS change order form. So if you have a listing and you need to make a change order, this is what the form looks like. So if you have a price change or a you don't need to do this if you go pending because you have a contract. So we don't use it for that. This is predominantly for price change or if somebody wants to cancel. And if you want to cancel a listing or change its price or take it temporarily off market, see right here is where those says that. You fill it in, you know, with the address and stuff like that. And then your seller signs and then your broker signs. Okay. So your broker and seller must sign this. You cannot just change things in the MLS because you want to. MLS data dictionaries, not so crucial. Reciprocal listing, no, but rules and regulations is important. I want you to be aware that, oops, I don't think this is what I wanted. No, that is the rules though. If you want to know what the rules are, that's it right there. And this is what I want to show you. This is a chart of all the fines that you could incur by not using the MLS properly. Yes, it's going to cost you. You will make mistakes and you're going to get a notice that you've got a fine of $75 and you're going to go, what? Ah, what did I do? Most recently, a lot of people are getting fined because they are announcing coming soon in their advertising. We are not allowed to do coming soon listings. So here's what the rules are on the MLS. If you miss a deadline by 1 to 3 days on a listing, you're exempt, right? So by the 3rd day, a fine will apply. For the first 2 days, it does not. So if you take a listing today, you have 48 hours or until the end of the 2nd day to enter that listing into the MLS. You cannot change the list date because this is a signed contract between the broker and the seller, and it has a list date. You cannot now change that, right? So you're going to put in a list date 3 days from now, the system will automatically pick up that you entered it too late and fine you $75. If you have a listing that's sold and you forget to mark it sold, you have 48 hours to mark it sold. And if you are late, you will be fined. So when I first joined, I had a listing and I forgot to mark it sold. And all of a sudden I got a bill for $750 because I realized I'd marked it, forgot to mark it, and I did it. And I was like beside myself. And I appealed to them, and there is an appeal form in this section, right? If I go here, you'll see it. There's the appeal form right here, the waiver form. And they reduced it to $250, but they fined me. They fined me. So why do you think the MLS, this, by the way, is not the Realtors Association that decides this. This is a committee of realtor volunteers called the MLS committee that dictates this. And why do you think they impose fines on us?
To make sure all the data stays current.
Thank you, Bill. If I were in the room with you, I'd throw some candy at you. This is exactly right. We can only be as good at our jobs as we can based on this cooperation we all agree to provide each of us with the same data.
So I want to clarify a question real quick. You mentioned that you got fined because you didn't mark it, or a fine could be, okay, yeah, okay, didn't mark it sold. Now, are we splitting a hair versus sold and closed, or does that, in that case, does that mean closed?
There is no difference.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's why I was wondering if under contract would be classified as sold at that point.
Absolutely not. Under
Okay.
contract is pending.
Okay.
And notice that there's a pending date, right? There's a date when it goes into pending. So if the MLS chooses to audit you and call you and ask for your purchase contract and finds out that the purchase contract went into effect 2 weeks before you marked it pending, you will get fined.
Okay.
So we do not do that. and by the way, a buyer doesn't appreciate it if you do that. So the buyer's agent's going to come after you if you don't mark your listing as pending when you're in contract, right? So we can all see this. So we tend to do the right thing. We get fined because we forget or we didn't realize. The most common fine is for doing something after the initial 2 days. The other one is that people promote their open houses in public remarks. And you cannot promote an open house in public remarks. You can promote an open house to other realtors in realtor remarks, but you cannot do it in public remarks. Why?
Oh, on the hot sheet. You're talking about on the hot sheet?
No, I'm talking in your public remarks in your listing. So if I were to go to a listing, right? Let's just go to a listing here. These are the public remarks. These are the realtor remarks that the public doesn't see. If in the public remarks that go to Zillow and everybody can see it, it says open house this Saturday from 1 to 4, you will get fined.
Why?
Because we cannot use the MLS, which is a cooperating medium and environment, to send somebody else's client to me directly. We honor the fact that you may have clients who are on the internet searching, and we don't want to encourage in our listing that that your clients come to me directly. So the rule on our MLS is you cannot advertise open houses on, which is why that's the open house advertising policy. That's why it was on the front page of the info hub, because this is an issue. People, new agents in particular, think it's okay to do this, and you cannot. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that there are rules, right? And so you could take a look at the MLS rules and just review them. It's very helpful just to review this fine chart and understand, because this right here will tell you the things that are not allowed, right? Yeah. So take a look at that. Now that you know where to find it. Ha! We are in MLS documents up here, and we were in the thing called MLS rules and regulations. There we go. MLS rules and regulations right here. Here's an MLS waiver request form, right? If you get fined and you don't think you should be, or you want to ask for their kindness. We don't need this. If you hire an assistant, here's an assistant application. Here's that's a condo list. It's not really that helpful, but these are sample documents for your collab center site. Again, not so helpful really, but what I'm looking for is lead-based paint, GMM speaker, flood zone, fair housing, December. Right at the top of page 2. MLS agent and office forms. You need to be aware of this. So remember, I just told you that we are not allowed to show, to talk about coming soon listings. So there are 2 categories or 3 categories of a listing. One is the client just wants to go right on the MLS and wants to put it out there. And you know, you have a list date and you're gonna put it on Caravan the next day. I love to do that, by the way. I love to list my house on a Wednesday, and then Thursday I go on Caravan and have my house on Caravan. That's how I like to list things, right? So in a normal market. So here, however, there are 2 other options. So this option is that the client says, I want to be exempt from the MLS. I do not want to be on the MLS. So that is called an office exclusive listing. And the client literally has to initial all of these little sentences here that they understand that they're not going to be on the MLS and they're not going to have the benefit of the internet working for them and all of that and all of that. And now the rule is you as an agent can market this listing to your customer base. You can also market this listing to all the other agents in your company. So all the Keller Williams agents. However, the moment that I talk about your listing to another agent and that other agent says, I don't see this listing, and they call Larry at RAM and they go, Marion Haller told me about a listing and I don't see it on the MLS. Larry calls me and says, Marion, I've got your MLS exempt listing form here and another agent just called me about it. You need to put your listing on the MLS. The moment, and believe me, we talk to Larry, right? We don't just talk to each other. Somebody might come to you and say, are you sure you're allowed to talk to me about that listing? Because it's not on the MLS. You might not want to do that. If you know somebody, they might do that, but you'd be surprised. So we want to follow the rules because we all have to follow the rules, right? So you cannot let another agent outside of Keller Williams know about this listing. You cannot put it on a website somewhere. You can only market it directly to your clients and to your fellow agents in your company. So that's one category. The other category is the client wants to be on the MLS only and nowhere else. I don't want to be on other agent sites because, you know, once you put something on the MLS, people can search for it on my website. People can search for it on Zillow. People can find it on Redfin. People can find it everywhere, right? That's how that works. So this one says, no, 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 MLS only, just MLS. And now you can at least market it here on island, right? But nobody off island, unless they go to the Maui MLS to search, nobody else is going to be able to find it. And some people want that. So who wants this? People who want to be private. And you can guess for yourselves what kind of people want to be that private, right? So those are two important restrictions on your listings that you wanted. The moment your seller says something about, well, I don't really want to go on the MLS yet, you have to go, okay, how do I handle that? So when you take your listing class, we'll be talking more about that. But these are the forms. Okay. So I'm going to cover this area over here. What time is it? Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I better hurry up here. I'm going to cover this area over here. This is what's called the hot sheet. So Bill, when you refer to the hot sheet, we actually refer to this whole thing as the hot sheet, even though this thing right here is called the hot list. I never go there. I never go to the hot list because the hot list could be, I don't know why the listing is there. I can't tell. So why go there? It's already broken out for me. If I want to know what the new listings are today, I click on that. If I want to know what the expired listings are today, none. If I want to know the price changes, if I want to know what's sold today, and I can see what's pending, right? And see all those. So this is set to the market statistic, right? You see how the word market is blue here? Yeah. So that means this is the whole market. And I have 557 pending listings. Not bad, but it could be better. Last year, that number went up to 800. I have 823 or something. I have never seen it that high before. So once the market took off in 2021 and in 2022, it just went bonkers, the pendings, the number of sales we had. So things just got gobbled up. And right now, this is where we're at. That's a okay number, but it's not great. And for January, January is always a little low because people just started buying end of December, right? This number is going to grow, and it should be in the 600s by mid-February.
All right, so I have a
Where's
question.
the number that you're pointing out?
Pending, right here, pending.
Where's your mouse? I don't really see it.
I don't know how to
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
look at the red
So-
lines. I'm in the market, market monitor in the red line thing here. It's the
Yeah, I had to
bottom
minimize
number.
your face.
Yeah.
Awesome,
So-
thanks.
Marion, question for you. Is that little widget there, is that configurable? Because the reason I'm asking is I'm logged into my account and I have different numbers than what you
I
have.
understand. So yes, it is. And I'll show you where that's done. One of the things you can
Okay.
look at is what's your number of days here?
One.
Okay. And everything else here, you can go to the little widget. See the widget, the customize widget up here, the edit widget. Go there. And you can customize things. Now, the way I have mine customized, you can either set it for give me everything. And that is going to include businesses and commercial properties and you name it. It's going to include Molokai and no, we don't sell on Lanai, but it will include Molokai. So I don't want that. I don't sell on Molokai. I don't want to follow the market that includes Molokai. And I don't sell commercial. I want to know just the residential market. So I've got myself as residential, vacant land, condominium, and multi-dwelling. Those are the only category classes that I've chosen. Single family with Ohana, all those, right? So I chose here what I want so that I don't get commercial or business or those things. And then I chose the districts that pertain to Maui and made sure I did not include any Molokai districts. So that's how I customized mine. Yours probably has Molokai in it, probably has businesses and commercial and all of that in it. So that's how you can customize it. All right, next we've got, this is my contact activity from the Collab Center, and I have no activity from the Collab Center right now, which is kind of interesting because I'm getting emails, but I don't know why they're not showing up here. Maybe by activity it means somebody commented or somebody marked a listing as they liked it or didn't like it. And I will now show you what the Collab Center looks like. So when there is activity at the Collab Center, Collab for Collaboration Center, this is what an email looks like that I get and that the client gets. And I can scroll down and look at the listing here and go West Kuiaha Road, 1.7 million. Yeah, what is that? Let me look at that. And I'm going to go to my site. Oh, yikes. So I have a couple of Collab Centers set up that don't work. So let me try that again. Okay, so this is what a welcome email looks like. No, okay, I don't know why it's doing this, driving me nuts, but at least you can see what the email looks like. No. Try that one. Wow. So let me see here if I can. Oh my God. Okay, I don't know what it's doing, but that's new. And I'm going to have to call Larry and go, Larry, what's going on with the Collab Center? So I can't log into the Collab Center from here. I might be able to do it from another spot. Point being that when you get notification here is your client has gotten some information and might be talking to you in a Collab Center. And rather than find them under contacts and go there, you can be notified right here that you've got some correspondence. It's pretty handy. Down here's a calendar. Other than seeing what the date is today, it's not very useful. So just ignore it. You can have your Google Calendar open right here. You can have your email open right here, so you don't need to be using this calendar. The center of Paragon is our bulletin board. So some of it is a repeat of what is available in InfoHub, right? So here, and excuse me, in Clarity Dashboard. So a lot of this up here is a repeat, but look at right here again, open house advertising guidelines during COVID-19. So you can find some information there. Here's the mayor's directive on what we're allowed to do during COVID-19, right? So kind of interesting. And that pertains to, you need to make an appointment to go up, make sure there's no more than 5 people right now, I think it is, or could be more, but in the unit, and have them wait outside or make an appointment. RAM is closed during this. They were open and now they've closed again, right? During this current surge. Want to receive Caravan email notifications? Here's how to subscribe. Now, I just told you about Caravan. Wouldn't it be great to get that information on email? So here's how you do this. So please check that out, okay? Here is, if you find, if you find an error in a listing, you can go and notify RAM to have that corrected. Like sometimes somebody lists something for $17 million and you go, I don't think so. I mean, I've seen this. It's supposed to be 1.7 million, right? And so you can just hit the, it tells you right here, you go to the activities button, and here is the data checker report, and you click on that and an email pops up and you can tell them. Open house advertising. Here we go. Open house advertising, not just during COVID, but what are you allowed to do? So important to read this and all the recommendations, right? Special forms release. We've had some special forms. We're getting a new purchase contract in 2 weeks, hopefully, because they made an error on the last one and everybody's upset about it. A little kerfuffle going on. Here is RAM's RAM people, right? So if you wanted to contact somebody, here are the individuals to contact and ask for. And here is a great support numbers directory. This is a great, I go here all the time because I know it's there. Paragon is usually open. So here's the Paragon help desk. Here's the Clarity dashboard. If that's not working, non-MLS issues, you can go to Larry. Hawaii licensing division, zip forms, HomeSnap, InfoSparks, Zillow, Realtor Property Resource, RPR, Hawaii licensing division. Really good resource for phone numbers right here. That reminds me that I want you to notice an email called Thursday Things. The moment you sign up with RAM, you're going to start getting Thursday Things. It is an email that comes out on Thursdays from RAM. And I highly recommend you open this and get used to opening it. You'll get, look at, there's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac increases their fees on second homes in high cost areas. Oh boy. Here is how to earn a C2EX endorsement. Here is advance notice of special standard forms release, right? So our forms release, that's important to us. That's zip forms. Here is a class, help realtors build retirement wealth, study how to get yes when asking for more business. Zip forms education benefits to continue, reminder ownership of MLS compilation and copyright, member benefits, etc. So just glance through it and you'll see whether you want to, if there's anything important here. Here it looks like the kahi hours were, this just highlights realtors who are doing cool things in the community, right? This was a Santa party, and for whom? For homeless resource centers in Wailuku. Look at that. A bunch of realtors went and participated. So kind of cool. So you can just always check that email because sometimes there's stuff in there that you want to know. And you'll start getting that as soon as you're on the a member of RAM and signed up. All right, now I'm quickly going to go across these icons here. This is where you set your preferences. And to set your preferences, I recommend you go and use the preferences wizard. You just do that once. You get access to Paragon, you go to the preferences wizard, and you just do what it says. Now I'm just going to start so you get the idea, but there are 16 pages here. So if I want to go through it, it's going to drag me through. It's going to let me upload a picture. I highly recommend you upload your picture. And to images, right here, upload a photo, right? You want to update, I want to update my photo, let's say. I click up there, it takes you to your library. Oh my God, you know one of the benefits of a library when you're a realtor? You get to see all your hairdos. Look at these hairdos I've had, right? It's like pretty funny. It also lets you see how many companies you've worked for. Look at that, I've worked for quite a few companies. So if I wanted to now change my picture, right, I click on it, make sure it's orange, and then I can say insert image. And to get the picture there, I need to upload a new image, right? And I can go here and I can go add a photo, and my browser, my file browser comes up, and I can select an image from my downloads or wherever, my desktop, wherever I've got my picture, and I can add that, right? And it appears in here, and then I can say, go ahead and upload. Okay. And then you just have to make sure once it's in here, you want to make sure it's orange, that you've clicked on it, and then you can say insert picture. So you definitely want to do that, because the reports that you print out for your clients, when you're taking them to show them property, may have your picture at the bottom, and that's just a nice thing to do. The next thing is you can upload your logo, same process, right? It's going to end up in your library. So you click here, upload office logo, and you can choose a logo. Where can you find logos? In mykw.com, there's a folder called logos. And again, we will be showing you that, I think. Do we do that anywhere? I don't know. That's a good question. I just got out of it. You understand, it's going to take you, it's actually going to take you, excuse me, through all of these categories here. Through all of these categories. See that? So you can do this individually, or you can do the preferences wizard. So if you do it individually, you can skip over, like for instance, you want to set system preferences. And there are all sorts. So here's the market monitor. Here is search options. So here is results options. Results options are important because it's asking, how do you like to look at your listings? Look at all these different reports you could use to look at your listings. My preference is agent listing synopsis, no map. I prefer the one that, you know, the one that I read you when we were looking at Bill's listing, that was a report called agent listing synopsis, no map. And it shows me all the agent data, and it shows me a bigger picture and the data this way. There's different looking reports, and once you get familiar with them, you can select which way do you want. When you double click on a spreadsheet of listings, so what am I talking about here? If I go here and pull this spreadsheet again, and I click on a listing, how does that come up? This is called the agent listing synopsis, no map. Right? So that's what I have to set in my preferences right here. So if you don't like how it's coming up, think of preferences and you go there. And you can watch this video once you guys have got access to Paragon, right? So, and then user interface, here we go. This is how I make my Paragon look like the beach. You can make it green. Ooh. You can make it look like the 4th of July. Right? There's all sorts of different ways. I prefer the beach. It reminds me of where I want to be. And that's my preference. So you get the idea. Some things in here, there's nothing to set, but this is what going through that preferences wizard is really about, right? This is just, I'm just doing it individually. You can do it either way. Right? So I'm here, I was in preferences, and I'm suggesting you just go through the whole preferences wizard, and it will ask you to do all the things you need to do. The other thing is, I've mentioned to you the Collab Center, and I wish I could get to the site. I need to fix that. That's like terrible. And I'll do that. But in the meantime, if you wanted to use the Collab Center, so I just met with clients this morning at 8 o'clock, just before I met with you, and they're in Seattle, and they're perfect for this. So I'm going to set them up for Collab Center, and in the Collab Center, they're going to get notifications of all the listings coming in there. They go there and they can mark, oh, we love this property and we hate this one, and this one's okay. They can send me messages in there, and the Collab Center keeps that information. So all the listings stay there. It shows what they sold for when they sell. But now the clients and I can communicate in this website, little website that's just for them, about the listings that they're considering. So in order to set that up, you have to set up this website that's linked to you. And you have to do that in the preferences wizard. Here's one recommendation. When you do that, call it, your name. It's you do not want to get Maui's beautiful homes. No, don't do that. It's your name that you want to link people to. That's what they want to remember. That's what you want them to remember. You can think of a fancy name in the future, but this should always be your name. All right. What have we got next here? We've got resources. That's basically the same as what's in the Clarity dashboard. So there's nothing more here. This is a place where you can check. You can go to membership agent roster and check if somebody's, like you get this call from an agent and you go, are they an agent with RAM? Let me check about that. And you can just go to the roster here and this thing comes up and you can put in Sam Seller. And you click and it says, nope, we don't have a Sam Seller, right? You go, okay, Sam, I don't see your name anywhere. Are you a member of RAM, right? Where are you from? Whatever. So you can check. Tax information, don't worry about it. I'm going to show that to you in a listing. I wouldn't go here. I would always go to the Clarity dashboard to go to the tax record right here, right? Yeah. Financials, however, is a very handy thing. So this shows you lots of different financial calculators. Here's a plain financial calculator, and here's how I use this. Can anybody tell me what the current interest rate is?
It's around 3%, I thought.
Yeah. So most people get a 30-year mortgage. So I'm going to click on a 30-year mortgage, right? If you've got somebody who wants a 15-year mortgage, you can check that as well. With the interest rate at 3%, I'm going to look up 325 because, most people qualify for, not a perfect highest interest rate, right? So I'd rather estimate a little bit on the more conservative side. So the reason I do this is I now say, okay, calculate that. And it costs, notice I put in $100,000 at 30 years. It currently costs $435 a month to borrow $100,000. So when a client says to me, we're looking at condos at $450,000, they've got $50,000 to put down, and they've got, figured out that the mortgage on $400,000 is going to cost them about $1,700 a month. And they go, okay, I can afford that with taxes and insurance. That's like $2,200. I can do that. Oh, wait, and then there's, $1,700 mortgage. Then there is maintenance fee. So let's say a $500 maintenance fee. Now you're at 22. Now you've got taxes and insurance. You're probably up to 24 or 25. Okay, our budget is $2,500 a month. Perfect. I can afford that. So we're looking at condos, and there's not a lot available at $450,000. And they go, well, what about $475,000? So now I can kind of figure out, well, what does $25,000 cost to borrow? Well, about $110 a month or $107 a month, right? Take 435, divide by 4. That's $25,000 is $100,000 divided by 4. And now I know in my head that every $25,000 costs about $107 to borrow. So if they want to go up, I can say, okay, that's an additional $100 to you a month. So instead of $2,500, we're now talking $2,600. Is that okay with you? They go, yeah, I think that'd be right. See where I'm going? So it's just a really handy number to know. How much does it cost to borrow $100,000 these days? Very handy to know. And this little calculator place, excuse me, right here, lets you know that. Here's one that compares a 15-year mortgage to a 30-year mortgage. If people want to figure out, what if we make extra payments? How quickly can we pay our loan down? Actually, this is really handy for us when we want to refinance or when we want to buy for ourselves as well. So that's what this category is. And then we get to contacts. So the first thing you want to do when you get to Paragon, when you get your access to Paragon, and Bill, you want to do this if you haven't already, is you want to add yourself as a contact. You want to add yourself only by name and email address. That's all you need to put in here. Is the red R indicates what's required, first name, last name, and then put in your email. Now this kind of looks like a database, and it is. It'll keep track of people, and you can put notes in here and stuff. But the truth is, you can't do a mailing out of Paragon. You can't send them a newsletter. You can't stay in touch with people other than sending them regular, new listings. You can't really do anything in Paragon. So don't confuse entering people in Paragon with entering them in Command, which is your CRM. You're going to do it in both. So when you enter yourself, you will now be able to set yourself up to receive an auto notification. And that's what I want you to experience. You should set yourself up to receive information about the area that where you live, where you want to start learning the inventory. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to go to one of mine here. Here's me. I've already got a bunch of searches set up, but let's see if I can start a new one. So I'm going to add a new search. See this thing here? And it says, well, do you want to pull up a saved search or add a new search? No, I want to add a new saved search, not an existing one. So I'm going to click new. And I want to look for residential. And do I want, now I've got this is what a search page looks like. I have saved my search page to automatically put in solds, pending, and actives because I do a lot of CMAs. In this case, I'm not doing a CMA, so I'm going to delete those two. I just want actives. And I'm going to say in Wailuku. So I type in and it comes up and it likes to be clicked. So now I've got, I want to see everything in Wailuku. You know, in this market, I don't need more limitations. I just want to receive emails about what's happening in Wailuku, regardless of price range. In a more active market, I might separate it and say, send me everything under $1 million. And then I might do another one and say, Wailuku, everything over $1 million. But right now, there's not enough happening. I'll just take anything that comes up in Wailuku. Now, I might also make sure that that includes Waiahu. No, that's part of it. So Wailuku is really pretty much a large area. So I'm going to just leave it at that. And now I'm going to save this search as. And since I started this in my contact, it's already affiliated to me, right? So here I am. Now I just need to save the name, and I don't need to save it to me. I'm going to say Wailuku just Wailuku single family residence. Okay, that's all I need to do. That's good. I'm going to hit save. And now that'll be in my list of saved searches. Okay. So now what comes up is, okay, what would you like to do with that search? Right now, all the notifications are off. We can either send emails or we can send them up, set them up for the collab center, right? I'm going to send myself emails because that's all I need. For my clients, when I do this later today, I'm going to set them up for the collab center, right? So, but I'm going to do email, and this is what you want to do for yourself. When I hit email, the email template comes up. And it says, now notice I have mine set up to already have my signature in it. And I have a, what's called a default message body, because I don't believe in sending blank emails. So this is going to say, I'm just put hi Marian, right? And then my default message body comes. And where did I put that in? Under preferences. Under preferences, when you get to the email section, it lets you put in your signature with your picture, right? It lets you set that up, and it lets you put in a message body. And then I'm going to go aloha Marian. And I'm going to undo some of the spacing here. Yeah. All right. So there's my email. And now let me go across the top. It's going to get addressed to me. That means I don't need a blind copy. So the blind copy goes away. The subject line is real estate listing notification for Marian Haller. Yeah, I don't need that. So I'm going to delete that. Whoops. I got to go this way, backspace the whole way. All right. I usually change it. I'm going to go listings. And now I'm going to go SFR listings Wailuku. Okay, and this is going to be good for a year. And the view, the result view I'm going to get is, as you know, I like the listing synopsis, no map. So I'm going to choose not, if I were a client, I would choose customer, but I'm not a client. The difference between a customer view and an agent view, can anybody guess what the difference is?
The agent remarks.
Exactly. The realtor remarks are there, and also the commission.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, right, although that's going to change. Right now, the commission is not shown to the public. The NAR has just changed their policy because the Justice Department sued us and said, well, actually, agents, big corporations that are trying to undercut other agents sued. And this became known to the Justice Department. And under restraint of trade laws, they now say the consumer has a right to know how much their agent is getting paid. And so we are going to start showing the cooperating brokers commission. So that's a change in our industry, and that'll be coming up. You'll hear more about that as we all hear about it, right? But those are the two elements. That's right. Realtor remarks and the commission do not get shown. So that's the difference.
What's the difference between
the agent, sorry, the agent, the listing agent. The listing agent's information does not get sent to your buyer. When you do customer listing synopsis, it's your name at the bottom of the listing. When you do agent listing synopsis, which I want, because I want to know who the listing agent is, because I'm sending this to myself, the listing agent's information is at the bottom. Sorry to interrupt. Give me your question.
No problem. I'm just wondering, what's the difference between the agent full listing and the agent listing setup?
Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Right now, I just want to finish setting this up. So I'm going to go, okay, everything else is okay. I want the notification immediately, not recurring. If you hit recurring, you have to set the time. You have to do this. Otherwise, it won't take. So yeah, 2 a.m. is okay with me. And so now it would be set, but I actually want it immediately because the market is so slow and I want to be on it, right? So when you have a client who's ready to buy, you want to get these instant notifications so you don't have to look at Paragon 3 times a day. you can just get it on your phone and go, new listing, bingo, right in my email. What's the new listing? Oh my God, a new listing just popped up. Did you see this? You got to come, we got to go look at it, right? Like that. So that's how we get notified. So I'm going to say, okay. And I am now, see, it says success, right? Send. Now, does it ask, do you want to send the other 22 listings that are already on the market to your client? That's kind of interesting. So I could now go to that list and select the ones I want to forward to my client and email that separately. So how do I do that? Let's just see if I can do that. Here's what a spreadsheet looks like. And let's say I've already gone through all this and I know these are the 4 listings that interest my client and he wants to see them now. So I'm going to highlight those 4 and I'm going to go to checked. See up here, it's checked or all. I can either look at everything on the list or just the ones that I've checked. I'm going to go there and then I'm going to go to email and I'm going to send these 4 listings right here. Right, the selected 4 listings with a hyperlink using the customer listing synopsis, no map, because that was my preference in my preferences. I'm going to compose an email and I'm going to pull my client, right? And if my client is in my database, it'll come up. And why it adds it to there as well, I don't know. I can change the subject. My email is set up to have my signature in it. And here's the link. And now all I have to do is go and write, Dear Marion, blah, 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 and send. And it's going to, I like to be blind copied, right? But this is sending it to myself, so I don't need 2 copies. But if I were sending this to a client, I would blind copy myself. Now, Paragon will remember and hold all of the emails you send to people in your contacts. If you send somebody a link like this and they're not in your contacts, Paragon has no way to remember that. So I have my Paragon set to automatically put my address in the blind copy field just to be sure to get it. And I like keeping things in my new client folder in my Gmail, including the listings I've sent. So I'm going to cancel this. So that's what I would do here. This is, we just set yourself up, right? So this is really kind of critical that you figure this out and learn how to do this, and doing it for yourself and starting to receive listings from yourself. You'll go like, whoa, I get it. I get what this feels like to get these. So please do that. Questions?
Is there some way to preview what the different
Yeah, we're going to do that next.
Okay, and then my second question is when you set it for like a year, after a year, do you get a notification of like, oh, hey, you need to renew, or does it just quietly fall off?
Oh my God, no, you get a notification.
Great.
And by the way, people can unsubscribe to Paragon. They can't unsubscribe to just you. They unsubscribe to Paragon, which is why over here in the Clarity dashboard down in here, there's this opt-in button, because lots of people are on auto notifications from a realtor. The realtor isn't in touch with them, never talks to them, never checks in, and people are tired of getting their email notifications. So be aware of that. People opt out without talking to you because you're not talking to them. So setting somebody up for a year is okay, but I would ask them, how long do you want to get these? You want to get these for the next 6 months? Yeah, let's start with 6 months. That's okay. Okay, fine. Right? Or make sure you stay in touch with people other than, like, people say to me, oh, I stay in touch with my clients. What do you do? Oh, I send them email notifications out of Paragon. They know that's an automatic process. That's not you doing anything, right? So here's another trick. I get copies of the auto notifications. I always copy myself. And the moment it comes into my email, I look at it. And every once in a while, I will forward that email to the client and say, did you see this? This is such a cute house, but unfortunately, it's not large enough for you, or it's not in the neighborhood you want to be in, or whatever might be going on. But I just thought I'd connect and see how you're doing, or you call them for that reason, right? It's a great reason to connect because you've both gotten this email and you can chat about it. And I sure as heck will text them and say, did you just get this listing? This is totally your kind of listing. Are you available to go look at it? So being active about it. If you don't copy yourself, you don't even remember that these people are on auto notification. And you want to remember. Make sense? Cool. All right, so let's go to a search. Oh, by the way, the CMA button makes a pretty report. You can't break it. One of these days, you're going to go in there and learn how to do a CMA in a pretty report. It doesn't do a CMA for you. You still have to search through listings and decide which listings to pick as the comps for the house that you're comping. But you do it inside of that program and it makes a nice report. So that's what this is. This is where you enter listings. We don't go through that right here.
I have another quick question, actually. You picked email for yourself, but what is the Collab Center? Like, how is that different?
I don't know what's wrong with the Collab Center that I can't get in. I can't show you. Darn. The Collab Center is a little website. So it opens up to a website and there are, let's say I've been having my client do this for, let me see if I can't get into Jessica's. Because I've got a couple of people set up. I don't know what's going on. It's suddenly locked me out of it's really frustrating. This is a client that I've got on the Collab Center and I can't get in to look at the listing that she got. So I don't quite know how to fix that right here, right now. So I've got to work on that. Can I go this way? Nope. See, it's somehow it's reset the username and password, and I don't know that I've ever set a separate username and password for my Collab Center, so I don't quite know what's going on here. So it's a separate little website, and all of these listings that you can see here that my client has gotten, all these notifications, she gets those emails that you can see, and the website, it's just really a web page. And it saves all the listings and she can go in there and she can mark them. She can look at them big. She can blow them up and look at the big pictures, read all the descriptions about them. And then she can decide, do I like this listing or do I not like this listing? And she puts a heart or she puts a thumbs down or she puts a maybe. And then she can even ask me questions about this listing. Hey, Marion, this looks really cool, but could you check it out for me? I wonder how many repairs are really needed here. Or could you check the neighborhood? Or could you go and do a showing and I want to see this house, and we do a virtual showing. I'll put her on video or excuse me, on a FaceTime and show her the property. So yeah, this is so and all that information stays there. So the listings do not go away. So if we want to see the history of what she liked, so I'm having these clients that I spoke to just this morning. They like the idea of this Collab Center. They're going to go in and they're going to mark every listing and say, I love this, I don't love this. And then when they come to look at property in April, I will have this built up history of what they like and what they don't like and what appeals to them and what doesn't appeal to them, right? And they will too. And they're going to go back and they're going to say, Marion, this house looks like it never sold here. This is still available and we kind of liked it. Can we go check that one out? Whatever. So it's just, it's a web page that holds all that. So I will try to get that information for you and see if we can't in another class when I have you again, see if I can't show that to you.
Great, thank you.
Okay. All right. So that takes us to search. So notice you can do a quick, I have quick search here. Some of you may have a lot of options here. This is supposed to be a quick search, not a long list of search options. This is where we go for our long list of search options. So I just showed you a little residential search. Now I'm going to go to condo. All right, and I might as well do this as if I were doing a CMA. So I'm going to go to Kihei. And I'm going to say, give me something between, my client is looking from 500,000 to 650. Notice there's 3 zeros here already. You're going to end up writing $650,000. Again, it's something you get used to, that there's already 3 zeros there, so you don't need to do that. So now I get 2,839 listings. So what have I forgotten to do is I have forgotten to tell the system how many solds I want. How far back do I want to go in the solds? Well, to do a CMA, I only need to go back the last 3 or 6 months because we've had so many sales, right? And it's going, everything's moving so quickly. So I'm just going to go back 6 months. And that gives me in Kihei condos, from 500 to 600, 145 condos have probably sold. That is too much. So I'm going to go to 90 days. All right, let's see what we get here. 83. And the first thing I'm going to do is, here I've got my spreadsheet, is I'm going to click on the column called status. And I'm going to see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties actually active. We're going from number 6 to number 23. So 17 are pending. And from 24 to 83, that is 60 units have sold in 90 days. Wow. So here's how to look at this market. What's the absorption rate? Anybody ever heard of that phrase before? Absorption rate says, how quickly is the market absorbing this inventory? Well, at 60 closings, or 59, right? 24 to 83, 59, over a 90-day period, 3 months. So I take 59, and I'm going to round it to 60 because it's easy. And I'm going to divide it by the 3 months. So on average, we have been selling, how many? Per
20.
month? 20 per month. 20 per month, 20 per month. We have 5 on market. How long is it going to take to sell 5 condos?
Week.
A week, right? Yeah, exactly. Except one of them has been on market for 150 days. And you go, what in the heck is wrong with that condo, right? So you can check that out. Here's one that's been on market for 26 days. Must be something else that's an issue here. So you'd want to check that out. Here's one for 4 days, 2 days, and 2 days, and these will disappear pretty quickly, right? One of the, now you can always go back and go, oh gosh, my client wants a vacation rental. And I do have short-term rental as a category in my columns here. So I can see the yeses and nos, but I can also sort those out and go back to, notice what I did. I went from my spreadsheet back to my criteria here. And I'm going to go down and look for short-term rental allowed. And I'm going to go there and make sure and say, my client wants a short-term rental. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to save that. And look at that. It reduces the number to 31. Right? Now I'm going to do a search again. And this scene is going to go away. And I'm going to click on status. Whoops, only 2 available. Wow. And we have sold from 8 to 31 is 23. We have sold 23 in the last 90 days. So, 7 are selling a month, right? So same thing again. Now, one of these is the 26-dayer, and we'll have to find out why is that on 26 days. Who knows? We'd have to look at it. So I just want you to be aware that you can customize this spreadsheet, and your spreadsheets aren't going to look like this when you first get it. And how do you customize things? In Paragon, you go to this button called Customize, and you go to Fields. And everything that's on the right side here is what is there now. Everything that's on the left side is what I could add there. So if I decide that I want to have another piece of information, like, let's say I want to know if anything's a short sale, I go down to S and I hit short sale, and I'm going to add it. And it gets added to the very bottom. See that? And now I can either drag it up and put it somewhere else, right? Or if it's at the bottom, I can just click on it and hit the move up button, move up or move down. So what does that mean? Well, right now I've saved that. Right now, by being at the bottom of the list, it is the very last item. Didn't I just do that? Didn't I just save that? Short sale at the very bottom. Yeah. Why am I not able to scroll over? There it is, short sale. Right? This is why I don't put short sale in my spreadsheet, because they all say no. That's not happening these days. So I don't need that information. You can see here I've got a buyer's agent, because sometimes when I'm researching a CMA, sometimes I want to know who the buyer's agent is, right? And I've got the listing agent here. Do I need the year built for these? No, but sometimes I do, because it's a great reminder of for condos, you need a lead-based paint addendum too. And a lot of our condos are old, right? So year built is kind of a handy thing to include. So I can modify this. I can customize my spreadsheet, right, to reflect the information the way I want to see it. I'm going to remove this. So I removed it. And I can change the order of things and put things sooner or later. So to start with the MLS number and then days on market and status, to have those up front, as well as the building name, unit number, or in the case of single family, you would put address. But we go by building name here, right? So, and then what district are you in? Sometimes you look in more than one district, so that's important. So you'll find for yourself what is important to you, and this is how you modify your spreadsheet. When some of you customize, right up here, the word customize.
Right, where I'm in there. Where did you find the allow short-term rental option? I'm not finding that.
I believe the category, okay, so this is called short. So you go to, and mine is in here, right? So I'm going to take the short sale. Off, remove that. And short-term rental, where did I get that?
Go down. It's right there, almost.
Short-term rental allowed.
Yeah,
So
it's not
look
come,
for,
when I searched for that, it didn't come up. That's why I was wondering.
where are you searching? Here,
Yeah,
you got to go to the left thing.
in the search box up there, I tried to search for short-term and it didn't come up. That's why I was wondering.
Scroll down to S. And if you don't find it here, are you in condominium listings?
Let me double check that.
Right up here. If you're opening this box, does it say
Yeah,
condominium?
I have to reopen this box again. I got to figure out how to get there again.
The customize button in the blue.
Thank customize. There it is. Fields. Oh, it's in residential, not condominiums. Okay, that's why.
Well, okay, there you go. So you must be in a residential search.
Yep.
Sometimes the reason why you can't find it is because it's already in your spreadsheet and you just didn't realize it. I mean, that's happened to me a lot. So I'm searching and I say, why can't I find this? And it's already in my spreadsheet, right? Some of you are going to open your first spreadsheet and there's going to be this line spacing is going to be really big. That's because you have your remarks in the spreadsheet. You do not want your remarks in the spreadsheet. So you right away go to customize, go open the fields and review everything that's here and take out what you don't need. Another thing you don't need is the tax map number. We do not search by tax map number in Paragon. So you don't need it. Don't need the remarks. You'll figure out what you don't need and what you do want, right? But that'll definitely shrink your thing. The other thing I want you to be aware of is you can move these columns. See that? And then it tells you success, you just move the column. Paragon remembers all your preferences. You do not have to save this with a special name. You do not have to do anything for Paragon to remember. Paragon remembers this and will open this spreadsheet for you the next time with the same configuration the way you left it. However, Paragon has separate memory for each type of search criteria, as well as the spreadsheet that you get the results for. So if I were to now open a search for residential, and if I were to do a Kihei search here, right? And I want, let's just make it easy and just ask for houses. And I get my spreadsheet here. This spreadsheet has different information. It has address, right? It has subdivision. It has neighborhood. I need to know more about where this house is, right? So I customized my fields differently here. Does that make sense? Whereas in condominium, I've got building name and unit number and the district it's in. And then I ask for a lot of listing and contract information, because when you do a CMA, you see all the information that's useful. Like I might want to sort all this by closing date. I just hit on closing date and now I have them in chronological order by when they closed. I might want to sort it by sold price. So now I've got the least expensive to the most expensive, right? Or I might want to go back and sort it by building name. This is a handy thing to do, right? And now I can see what's going on in each of the buildings. Like there's a lot of activity in Maui Banyan, a lot of activity in Maui Sunset. Wow. Here's Maui Vista with lots of sales. Pacific Shores has a couple, right? It's a cool thing to do. Do you see that? It's also a great way to get to know the market. So you go here, you go to your search criteria and you go, okay, I want to look at everything, you know, under $1 million that's for vacation rental. And then I'm going to go and look at everything under $1 million that's not vacation rental. Get to know both markets. They're different markets. And you just kind of invent what you want to look at. You go Maui Meadows under $1 million and you'll get nothing or very little. Then you go Maui Meadows 1 to 2 million and you'll get some. And then you go Maui Meadows over 2 million and you're going to get a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Or do you see where I'm going? So you want to get to know the market and say, what's going on here? And this is how you search. So I just want to point out also that you can customize this screen just like you can customize the results, right? I showed you how to go to customize here to customize these spreadsheets. You can also customize the search criteria. So one of the things, like I showed you before, if I go to residential here and go to my search function, whoops, no, I didn't do that. I want to do another condo search. So here we go. Here I have another search that's opened up. And as I told you, I saved my search criteria to include the sold, pending, and active designations, because to me, that's just easier to take them out than to put them in. So I did that. The second thing I did is the moment I have to do a CMA and search for solds, like you saw me do earlier, I have to have the closing date, right? I'm going to have to enter the closing date. I only want solds for the last 6 months. Otherwise, it's going to give you solds for 20 years. Your closing date item is going to be down here somewhere. It's really annoying where they put it. So one of the first things I did is I went into customized and I moved my closing date up to be under, right? Same thing here. I go to fields. And on the right is what I've got. And I took closing date and I moved it up, right? I moved it up to be where I want it to be. So you can change the order of things. You can also change what you get here. So one of the things you've got in your search criteria is the tax map numbers. You've got the district and the zone and the plat and the parcel, and you don't need any of that. The only one you need is district. So get rid of those. They just take up space. They just make it confusing. You don't need short sale and REO. You can add them in when you search for them, but you don't really need them, right? Because you can easily modify this. So over time, you will learn how you like it. I'm just showing you that this is something you can do. Now, if
Hey,
you were
Mary.
to,
Oh,
yes,
sorry. While you were on there, say that, yeah, Wailuku, that's a big area, but say I wanted to do, you know, just compare like a little bit smaller area of Wailuku, maybe just like the neighborhood or the,
I got it. So, great question. You can do that either right here, or you can do it in the search button. So whichever way we go is easier. But the first thing you want to do when you do that is you want to say, I'm looking for actives only. So give me all actives. And I want to do this in Wailuku. That's the general area, right? But I'm going to hone in. But let's go there. So I'm going to set all actives and Wailuku. And maybe you want to say under $1 million. So I'm going to set those broad criteria, right? I've done that here. And now I'm going to hit this globe icon. Do you see this globe? You can also get to the globe in a search function like we were here. There is a globe button here. See that?
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But we're going back here. We're all set to do it right here. So I've set this where I want to look and whatever. So now I'm going to search. And it's going to take me to the, what? Come back here. Oh, it's coming up with 45. So it took me right to that. Didn't even bother to take me to the, but I don't want to be there. I want to do, wow, this is weird.
Oh, did you need to
Oh,
click on the map?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. I clicked on the wrong thing. Thank you. I need to click on the map. There we go. Okay, so now we get a map of that's going to hone in on Wailuku, right? There we are. And you're going to say to me, well, let's make this a little bigger so we can see it. And you're going to say, I want the old part of Wailuku. So I'm going to go to draw. I'm going to choose a polygon. And I'm going to start here. And I'm going to draw a line all around the old part of Wailuku. And might as well take in that section. And now I'm going to go to add to search, add to criteria. And now when I do my search, I only get 3 listings. What? Service unavailable. What was that?
Server error.
Yeah. Frickin' frackin'. All right, then I'm going to go here to this residential. And what did I say here? Let's do the other one. This one was Kihei. All right, let's do it here. Oh my goodness. So you know what's happening? I've been on here too long. It's not happy.
It's okay. I get the point.
You get the
to
point,
do the little
right?
map, and then it'll upload only in that area. So I feel like that
Yeah.
would be a little bit easier to do, like your
Yeah,
comparative.
yeah,
So you can focus on a specific neighborhood or something in Wailuku, like
yeah,
Kailani or Wailuku Heights or
that's
something
correct.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. All right. Thanks
Yeah.
for showing us that.
Yeah. you
So
bet.
one of the things, and when you were looking for condos, your spreadsheet, one of the columns I noticed in there was fee simple, or at least the data was fee simple, but I don't see that as a column header. What is that actually called then? So if I'm looking for a vacation rental and I only want fee simple vacation rentals, how would I find that information? Because I'm not finding that as a search option.
You're looking for the words fee simple. So let's just take
Right.
a look here. Let's just do a quick search and see what that, so you saw it in my, I've
Yeah,
got
I
it.
saw it. I saw it in
Yeah.
your spreadsheet results when you did it.
Yeah. And we're doing. Let's do, yeah, that's a lot. Let's do 700,000. Okay, count. Oh my God, my thing is doing errors on me. It is not happy. Condo. Wow.
Do you want to log out and log in again?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
So you mentioned earlier Paragon has a 2-hour window. Is that
Yeah, right
2-hour
down here.
active window, or is that
Yeah.
2-hour?
Yeah, it keeps resetting. Every time I search something, it resets to 2 hours. See down here? You can
Right.
see the clock. So if I were to not do anything, Paragon will log me off in 2 hours. But if I keep searching and clicking stuff, then it knows I'm busy. It'll keep resetting to 2 hours.
Okay.
Let's try this one more time. I'm just going to go back 90 days to just get this and see if we can get a, oh my God. 90 days, 300 condos have sold in Kihei? Are you joking? Oh my God. So let's do it less than 700,000 or 800. How many do we get? 195. Let me do it this way.
LT, that's the field I was looking for. Okay.
So notice I have the current oh, let me do that again. The leasehold fee, current monthly leasehold fee. I also put that in here, right?
Okay.
So LT is what you're looking for in the criteria here. If you were to customize the fields, let's see where I've got LT. LT. That's for listing type. And I get them confused, type, class, whatever. So that's why I had to go this long way to find it. But yeah, so there we go. We found one, right? Now, if we were to do this search, I should have done it on the west side. We would have found more. There are not a lot of, there's Kealia in North Kihei and the Walaka ones apartments. Excuse me, what's this? Oh, there it is. This is a Kealia. All right, so while we're in here, we're going to just review reports. Here we are at this condo. This is a studio, which Kealia is famous for having studios, and the prices are always attractive, but you need to tell people you're paying a monthly lease fee as well as a maintenance fee, right? So the maintenance fees here are $536 and the lease fee is $349. Excuse me, 462 per month. So that's $900, that's $1,000 a month. Now, what's good about that, just so you know, is those are both tax deductible if you are renting this out. If this is a vacation rental, this is fully tax deductible, as is the maintenance fee, right? That's part of your cost of doing business. So that's good to know. The other thing to know is sometimes studios do not qualify for mortgages. So you want to, they're too small. That's what the lenders don't like, small things. So they don't consider this a residence really. So you want to double check with the listing agent if they know what lenders will lend on this property. So we want to look at reports. So here we are in the reports section, and I have favorites. So I've pulled up a bunch of stuff into my favorites. So we are currently in the agent listing synopsis no map. Another favorite of mine is the customer photo gallery. This is what I use to show to people or to give to people when I take them on showings. It provides 8 pictures of the house or the property and then puts my name and my contact information at the bottom. And it shows them the basic facts about the property. So this really illustrates for you how important it is to show multiple aspects of this unit. And I am getting 3 kitchen pictures, 1 outside picture. There is a counter, whatever this is. Oh, okay, this goes into the living room, right? You want a good tour. Now we've got a studio here and it's a little hard to discern this, but do I need all of these? What I'd really like to see is I'd like to see it with the bed down. Right? Because there's a Murphy bed. Did anybody notice there's a Murphy bed here?
I was looking for it and couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. There it is right there. Right? I want to see this bed down. So do you see what I'm saying? How you, the sequence of your pictures is really important. So always think of it. In my first 8 pictures, I want to give a full tour of the property. And then I get a 32 in total. And then I can add other pictures to show more. But the first 8 are what we get to see in this report view. Another report is the agent listing synopsis or customer listing synopsis, either one, that has the map. And that's what this one looks like. So here is the data, and then here is the realtor remarks, and here is the commission, and here is who's got it listed and her contact information. And the customer version of this customer listing synopsis looks like this with my picture and my information and logo at the bottom. So I don't like this map. This map, I still want it to be bigger. So I would still prefer to click on the map button and be able to play with this and say, where exactly is this? Oh, this is North Kihei. Oh, I get it where we are. Okay, great. Right? As opposed to here, this is just too small for me to work with. So that is why I prefer this view, right? The agent listing synopsis or client listing synopsis, no map. All the data is up here. It's a larger picture, and then it looks this way. So how do you pick these? I've dragged them all up to favorites. I'm going to close my favorites. And here's all the detailed reports. Here are all the reports you could have, either agent for us, so you can see the listing agent, or customer based. Now, the full listing sometimes gets default. This is a terrible view. I mean, who wants to look at the data with this tiny type and this tiny picture? And sometimes it's useful because of this information. This is the additional information. So sometimes I go here just for this, but that information, which is the inclusions and all of that, is also available here in the agent listing synopsis. So I go to the agent listing synopsis, and here's my inclusions right here. So when I fill out a purchase contract and say, what's included with this? It's right here. See that? So those are your report options. You can also go here, get out of, so how do I get them into my favorites? I just dragged them. I just, go down here and say, oh, this is the one I want. And I just drag it up here. Okay. That's all I do. Now notice I go to my back button, and the back button is what takes me back to the way things were. So getting to use this back button is important. When you are in a spreadsheet, and are we in a spreadsheet right now? Yeah, let me go back. except I've had a lot of views open here. There it is, right? So let's say I'm here. That's what I opened. And now I want to go to the next listing. I just hit this next button. See that? Then I go to the next listing, right? Now it helps to have the listings in an order that makes sense. So putting them in active order, now I can just go through the active listings and decide which ones do I want to show my client will love that. I'm going to show that. So I'm going to check the box right up here and go to the next listing. And I go, oh, this is a cute one. My client's going to like that too, right? And you're going to go to the next one and you're going to go, oh, let me look at this. And you go and browse through the pictures and go, oh, ground floor. Nice, nice, right? Oh, it's a 1-bedroom. Yeah, my client's really going to like that, right? And you click those and then you go, okay, that's enough. That's all I can find. And you go back and the 3 that you clicked are now highlighted. And you can now look at just those and you can ask for a report of the customer photo gallery and print those out so that you can meet your client at Starbucks and take them to showings. Or you can email this to your client, right? Hit the email button and email these 3 and say, we're going to go look at these 3 that we agreed to. And I'm just sending you the report in advance. So that's the reports function. That's about it, you guys. What else can I tell you about?
Thanks for showing us around on that. So for like Bruno and myself, who just recently got the license number and everything, now we can go to the RAM and start that process, right?
You get your license number. You have 10 days from the day that you get your license to sign up with RAM.
Okay.
Right? So, and then the moment you do that, RAM takes about 24 hours to process your payment. And be aware, and they'll explain to you, you need to pay your dues all in one lump sum and they'll prorate it. So your dues are all for, NAR, HAR, and RAM for RAM. Your MLS can be paid on a monthly recurring payment. So you can put it on a credit card for them to bill you, charge you every month. So you don't have to pay that all up front. The moment you get your MLS ID number, you can notify Keller Williams, and then Keller Williams will send you an invitation to the zip forms and will set you up in whatever else there is to access command if you haven't gotten that yet or whatever else there is.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll work on getting the sign up with RAM today then.
Yeah, 10 days you got. So yeah, and that's where you want to be, right? Go do it. This is get yourself started. That's exciting. Awesome. Anything else? Any other questions I can answer? Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week, I'm going to be teaching you how to all about the purchase contract. So I get to see you again. And it looks like the other rooms have already ended. And there we go. Go have a great afternoon and a happy weekend.
Marion, before we take off, you mentioned helping with the zip
Yes.
forms issue.
That's a good point. So let me, I'm going to just do that for you. So you guys can all go. I'm just going to send him an email that links him to zip forms, but you guys are all welcome to sign off.
Great. Thank you, Marion. Aloha.
Yeah. Aloha.
Bill, I might call you in
What?
case I have any issues with the RAM setting up stuff or whatever, since you've already done it. I might call you, Bill, for RAM questions since you've already done it.
You know, they're really helpful. They really know their
Okay.
stuff. So they're really helpful. You just ask them any questions you want. Yeah. Don't.
Okay.
You want
I'm
to
good.
call them and yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You bet. All right, Bill, let's go here. Might as well let you see what I'm doing so you're not like in the dark there.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go to admin, I'm gonna go to users. So this is an area of zip forms that you don't have access to.
Okay.
And it is Bill Lancaster.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not in our system yet.
Well, that's interesting.
Right, so, let's see here. Oh my God. Shoot. Let me just, here, let me just call the office and find out how we can get you on there.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted.
Right. On the phone, I did have a question. So right after,
Okay, hold on a sec.
Hey, Marianne, it's Ray. How are you?
Hey, Ray. Oh my God, you're still there. I have, hi, I have Bill Lancaster here, and he has never or cannot find in his material an invitation to join Zip Forms, and he's not in here, so I can't sign him up. So who is our agent services person, and how do I get in touch with them?
That is Antonita, and she will get him a quick Zip Forms account.
Yes, but let me call her so I can ask her to do that. Or what's her email?
Yes. It's agent services Kona at gmail.com.
Fully spelled
You
out,
want me to
agent
send her a request and I
services.
can CC you?
Yeah, that'd be great. So Bill Lancaster, if she would shoot him, if she would add him to the system and get him an invitation to Zip Forms, that would be great.
Great. Yep, I'll send that CC Bill and you right now.
Thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate it. And goodbye.
You bet.
Oh my God, goodbye.
Okay, thanks, Marianne.
You
All
bet.
right. Thank you for those towels. That was so thoughtful. I'm going to use those napkins for a dinner party.
Yes, awesome. Handmade on Maui. Good, just for you.
Yeah, I'll think of you every time I pull them out. Thank
Okay,
you.
you bet. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Marion, real quick, you're still recording.
Oh my God. See. Okay.